Hello, my name is Julie and this is KS Mom Crochets, and today is Crochet Podcast number 32. I have some finished objects to share with you all and some whips, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. My first finished object is my Mrs. Santa Claus or Mrs. Claus dress. I am in love with how this turned out. I think that it turned out so cute. This is a vintage Mrs. Claus doll that I got off of eBay. I did do a video a while back unboxing this, and I also got Mr. Claus to go, or Mr. Claus, Santa Claus to go with her. But I had also got the dress pattern for the Mrs. Claus doll. This is a fiber craft pattern, and this is also a fiber craft doll. She is a soft bodied doll, so I don't think that she was actually meant for this pattern right here. Because whenever I started working it up, as I mentioned in my last podcast, the dress was huge. It was just way too big on her. I think her body is just a little bit smaller. So the pattern had called for a, what was it? An F hook and worsted weight yarn. So I went down to a D hook and sport weight yarn. So I used I Love This Yarn Sport by Hobby Lobby in the color red and in the color white. And a 3.25 millimeter hook on this. And I actually got these little shank type buttons from Hobby Lobby as well to go with her. I bought these specifically for her because, as you can see on the pattern, she does have the little pearl buttons. So if you look at this pattern, you see that she has a purse, and I didn't do the purse. She also has that ribbon around her, and I tried to put the ribbon because I do have some ribbon, and I just could not get that ribbon to look right. So I decided to leave it off, especially the one on her hair, because I just kept messing her hair up trying to fix it, and it didn't look like that. I could not get it to look like that, so I just gave up. She also has like little holly berries on her, and I didn't have that, so but she's kind of more plain, but I love that. I love the simplicity of her dress, but then she also has this really beautiful ruffled detail on her sleeves, and then this is actually a cape that comes off. I didn't sew it on the dress or anything, it just comes off, and it just lays around her shoulders, and it stays on pretty well, so I don't think that I needed to add anything to keep it on because it stays on really nicely. But I absolutely love how she turned out. I did have to change and alter the pattern to make it fit this doll. I had to do double crochets instead of half double, and I had to add some rows and stuff like that, but it ended up working out really well, and it fits her great. And I am really pleased with how she turned out. So this is my Mrs. Claus, and I have not started Santa yet, but I do have plans to start him sometime soon. Now my next finished object is a pumpkin basket. This basket is by Laura Jaworski. Jaworski, I think I said that right. She has a blog, and this is free on her blog, and she has all different not all different, but she has a couple different sizes that you can do. This was the bigger one that you could do. I used worsted weight yarn. I used Big Twist Value in the color cream, the color burnt orange, and then that is just a bit of scrap brown that I had. It's actually cotton, but I just had it beside of me, so that's what I used. and I used a 4mm hook on this, and I was kind of worried about using worsted weight for a basket, because usually anytime I've ever seen baskets made, they're made like with, 2 or 3 strands held together, or like a really thick yarn or something to make them stand up and hold their shape. But this one actually, it's not perfect, but it actually does hold its shape pretty well, surprisingly. I did do, she had where you did just single crochets, I think, or no, slip stitches. It was slip stitches around, but I did the crab stitch, or the simple stitch, all the way around, just to give it a little bit of extra detail. And then I just went around and hot glued all these pumpkins on, and they're not completely right. They're not spaced out perfectly or anything like that, but I think it turned out cute. And I did add a couple more rows when I was building this up, because I wanted it to be a little bit taller. I can't remember exactly how many rows that I added past what she said to do, but I just wanted it just a little bit taller. But yeah, so this is what it looks like, and I just think it's super cute, and it's just to hold, things that I need on my coffee table, and be decorative to go with the stuff on my coffee table. Now, my next finished object is the pumpkin gnome that I was working on. My daughter had asked me to make this for her teacher, and her only stipulation was for me not to make this as cute as, to not make this as so cute that we would want to keep it. But I don't really want to give him away. Oh my goodness, I just love how he turned out. So I usually use Shepye's Katona cotton on my gnomes, but I didn't have any orange. So I used drop saffron yarn, and it's the first time that I've ever made a gnome out of this. I've made other amigurumi out of it, but I had never made a gnome before. I used the color moss green, which is number 60. I used light brown, which is number 22. I used the color pumpkin, which is number 67. And then for the skin tone, or the skin color right here, I did use the Shepye's Katona cotton on that in the colorway shell. So I am really, really pleased with how this turned out. I did use the felting wool for the beard in just a little bit of a light orange color. I thought that it suited him well. I was kind of worried about using a lighter green, because the pattern had called for, or it showed like a darker green and like a darker orange, but yeah, that's a little bit more true. But I really love how he turned out. Now, this pattern is by Pampino. She has a Ravelry. She had a Etsy shop, and it had got closed down twice. She had 2 different ones, and I found her again on Ravelry, but her name has changed, or not Ravelry, on Etsy, but her name has changed, and her name is GNObooM, GNObooM, and I will have her new Etsy shop and her Ravelry shop linked down below, as well as everything else that I talk about. But I was really excited that she came back to Etsy. I kind of miss the Pampino name, so I will probably still call her Pampino, because she is still Pampino on Etsy and on Ravelry and other social media things. So, but I really love how this turned out. I think that I overstuffed the pumpkin, because you can see my stuffing, because you do make the pumpkin with I think it's half double crochets. And of all the gnomes that I have made, and I've made quite a few, this one was definitely the most time consuming and the most tedious because of this pumpkin, because you actually make it in a strip, like a really long strip, and it just took forever. I felt like I worked on this forever, but I was determined to get it done, because I wanted my daughter to be able to give it to her teacher. But I am really going to be sad to see it go, because I really I really love it. I think it turned out so cute, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't make one again, but I don't know if I would make one again anytime soon. The results are worth it, but that pumpkin took me forever. And I did go around and kind of, because I was having trouble getting this part of the hat to fit right. I did sew it down, but then I also went around and put a few dabs of hot glue just to hold it down better, because I didn't like the way that it looked. So that allowed me to shape it the way that I wanted it to look. And I think I did pretty good on him. I think he turned out really cute. I did change the stem a little bit. I didn't make it as long and curly as hers, but I really love him. I think he's super cute, and I keep saying that, and I'm going to be so sad to see him go. I do have more finished objects, but I forgot them, so hold on. Okay, I'm back. So I had started this doily, and it is called the Jack in the Web doily, and I ran out of thread. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And my sweet friend Rebecca sent me the thread to finish this, and I finished it, and I am in love with this pattern. I absolutely love it. Look at those pumpkin faces. Oh, it turned out so cute, and it looks like it would be super hard to do, in my opinion anyway. It looks like that it would be hard to do, but this was very easy to do. It's just double crochets and chains, and you might have one, I think there's one row that has like a triple crochet, like one or well, like 4 triple crochets in it. But the stitches are very basic. She does include a chart and a written pattern, and this is like I said, the Jack in the Web doily by Marsha Glassner on Ravelry, and it is a free pattern. She has quite a few free doily patterns. I used the Curio number 3 thread in the colorway Conch. It's looking more orange on the camera, but it is more of like a coral orange color. Like it has like a light coral color to it. But it's really pretty, and I love it. I love it so much. And I have that stitch marker there just so that I could make sure I was showing you all the front side. Now I do block my doilies. I lay them on a towel, and I spray them with heavy starch spray. You can get a can of that for like $1 at the dollar store. And I spray them little sections at a time, and then I iron them with an iron. So it stiffens them up, and it makes them lay really nice. And you can kind of manipulate it a little bit to, I got a hair on that, to stretch out the way that you want it. I was trying to think. Oh, it did curl just a little bit around these corners, so I definitely would have had to block this. The rest of it laid really straight, but the corners wanted to curl. But like I said, I really, really love how it turned out. I think it's absolutely adorable. In her pattern, she calls for a number 10 crochet thread, and I think she says that it comes out about 12 inches square, and mine is 16 inches square. So using the number 3 thread definitely does make it a little bit bigger. I used a 3.25 hook in case I forgot to say that, but it does make it a little bit bigger, but I like it bigger. It fits on my coffee table really nicely, and I love it. I love it so much. So I got done with that. I didn't have much to go. I only liked five rows, I think, when I ran out of thread. And thank you again, Rebecca, for sending me that so I could finish it. But I obviously had quite a bit more thread left, and I decided that I wanted to make some pumpkins to go with it. So like I said, she does include a chart in there as well as a written pattern. But on the chart, I followed the chart for just the pumpkin, and I just figured out it was trial and error, but I did figure out how to start it. And then once I got it started down here, I just followed the chart. And that's the first time that I have ever followed a chart. So I was kind of proud of myself for following the chart. But it wasn't that bad because I kind of had an idea of what I was doing, where that I had already done the doily. So I did, like I said, make this pumpkin motif to go with it. And I want to make one more because I only made one. And I want two, one for each side of it on my coffee table. And I just love it. So I will be making another one of these very soon, probably this week. But I really love it. And I had seen someone on Ravelry, like under projects, that had done this. They had actually made it in worsted weight, I think. So it came out pretty big. But I wanted to do that, so that's what I did. And so it matches the doily really nicely, because I mean it's the same exact pumpkin that is in the doily. So I really love it, and I love this doily so much. And Rebecca did send me the other colorway that I wanted to do it in Clementine, so I am sure that you will be seeing another pumpkin doily coming up soon, because I do want to make another one for a gift. So I will be starting that one probably soon too. So I think that's all my finished objects. It seems like I got a lot done, but a lot of these projects I was almost done with them. I didn't really have a whole lot to go. So I do have some whips. Let me see if I can dig them out here. So I am making a Christmas Tooterphants, and I hope you all do not get tired of seeing this, but I feel like this pattern does not take long to make at all, but it's taking me a while because I'm using a smaller hook, and I'm using this Aunt Lydia's baker's cotton, and I'm using a 2.5 millimeter hook, and I'm not used to that hook, and this yarn this thread is pretty busy, so it's hard to see your stitches. So it is taking me a lot longer to make this than what I wanted it to, but that's okay. So I did have his body already done last week, so I had already showed his body all finished, but I did make his ears. So this will kind of give you an idea of what he's looking like. So I did finish his ears, and then I got one leg. So I got one leg done. So that's kind of what he's going to look like. He's going to be so cute. And this thread is the red and green and white thread. So he is going to be my Christmas Tooterphants. So the only thing that I have left to make is 3 more legs, and then sewing him together, and then I want to make him a little Christmas hat just to kind of break up this busyness of this thread. I got my pattern out of this Quick and Easy Crochet book that I had ordered. I think I ordered it in 2020 or 2021, I can't remember, but I got this off of eBay. I know that you can still find this book, but I forgot to mention for all the new people that have not seen this before, because I do have a lot of new subscribers. This book is written in UK terms, but the Tooterphants pattern is also available on Etsy, and I have had several people tell me that they have bought this pattern off of Etsy to make this and have made this pattern, and that the pattern on Etsy is written in US terms, just in case you wanted to know that. But there's some really cute patterns in here too that I want to make. I just haven't. That's so cute. But there's other patterns besides the Tooterphants, but that's the only pattern that I have ever made out of this book. So that is work in progress number 1, and I'm hoping that he'll be a finished object next week, but we will see. He doesn't have too much left to go anyway. And then, what else am I working on? I did work a little bit on my husband's blanket. I wasn't going to show it, but then I changed my mind and decided that I would. I just hit the camera stand. But this is a solid ripple blanket. Now, I did get my stitch pattern out of a book, but I'm not going to show that book, but it's just a simple solid ripple. Now, I did make it to where it had some more, picked the one that had some more holes in it instead of completely solid. He said that he wanted a solid blanket, but I had to add some holes in there. I was talking to Kelly over at Crochet for Life about that, and she was saying that she had made a single crochet blanket for her husband, and I'm like, there's no way I could do that. I even snuck in some holes in this blanket. But I'm really loving how it turned out, or is turning out. I'm using Premier Puzzle yarn in the colorway Riddle, and an 8mm hook on this. And like I said, it's just a solid double crochet ripple blanket. I have put almost, I'm not done with my second skein, and this is how much I have done. So it's coming along. I'm not in like a super big hurry to finish this, but I am trying to work on it. You know, I'm trying to do at least one row a day. That's my goal anyway, because I do want to finish this since it is for my husband and he really wants it. So that is another work in progress. And then I actually did start another blanket. Edna had sent me in a Happy Mail video that I released last week. She had sent me some Christmas yarn. It is called Red Heart Holiday, and it's so pretty. I mean, this yarn is just absolutely gorgeous. Working with it, you can feel the glitter in it, so I think it's going to be a slow go project. And I wanted to do something fancy. I thought, oh, I want to do something fancy. And then I was like, I know myself, and I know that if I try to do something that I'm not, that has like a lot of repeats and stuff for a blanket, that I'm not going to finish it. So I thought, I'm just going to go simple and do something that I love, because this yarn is so gorgeous on its own that it's not even really going to matter what stitch that I use. So I decided to do a straight granny and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a straight granny stitch. I did not follow a pattern for this. It's just something that I just knew how to do, and I love it. Look at the glitter. Like, this yarn is worth it. So worth it to work with. The effect of it is absolutely beautiful. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the striping, because she did send me red, and I have some green, and I have some white. I have more red and white than I do of the green, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. My plan is, because this is my first skein, obviously, my plan is to work this whole skein up in the granny stitch and see how many rows that I get out of one skein, and then figure it up from there. So I will have to do just a little bit of math to try to figure out how I want to do the striping. But I'm hoping that it will work out to where I can do like red and white, and then green, and then switch back. Maybe the green will be a smaller section, or I may be able to put green in between each section. I don't know yet. It just really just depends on, I know there's not going to be as much green in this as there is red and white. but I love it so much, and I just think it's going to be so pretty on the back of my couch during Christmas time. And like I said, this yarn is absolutely beautiful. I don't think that I've seen quite a few glitter yarns. I don't have a whole lot of glitter yarn. I have a little bit, but I don't think I've ever seen any that has this much sparkle. It's so pretty. So I'm really excited about this. I'm using a 6mm hook on this, and like I said, there's no pattern. It is just a, granny stitch, worked straight back and forth. And then my last finished object is the Halloween inspired ghost. I showed the Halloween inspired pumpkin last week. I don't think I wrote him down. I did not. Not Halloween inspired. It's vintage inspired Halloween ghost is what it is. And this pattern is by Lizz Jelsma on YouTube. Or not. Oh my gosh. I'm messing this all up. This pattern is by Lizz Jelsma on Ravelry, and it is a paid forward pattern. Like I said, I did do the vintage inspired pumpkin, and this is to go with it. I will have to pop in a picture of what this looks like all finished, because the only thing that I have is his arms and his body. But the only thing that I have left to do is I need to do his legs and then his facial features, and then he'll be done. Oh, he has that collar too, and his collar around his neck. So he really doesn't have a whole lot left. I'm using big twist yarn in white and in black, and I'm using a 4mm hook on this, and I really think that it's going to be so cute. I love how she did the shaping at the top of the head there. I think that is so cute. Now I do, like on the last one that I did do a lot of changes to this pattern, because it is a lot of sewing. She requires a lot of sewing that is unnecessary to me, but I'm assuming that the pattern, or the whatever she based this pattern on, required that. But I decided to, instead of making his arms chains, because his arms is made into a chain and it's like a strip, a flat strip, I did make his arm like normal amigurumis are. And then I made the ruffle into the front loop. So I did the hand exactly like it is in the pattern. I did an extra row of single crochet in the back loop, and then I decreased twice on the next row, and then I continued up until the arm was as long as I wanted it to be, and then I went back and added this ruffle just like it says in the pattern, but I did it in the front loop that I had left. And I will do the legs the same way. And I did make his head and body one piece as well. So I was trying to cut down on the sewing, and it does go by a lot faster. And I do prefer the look of a regular arm than the way that her arm is made. Her arms and legs. And she also sews her legs on the front of the belly. I don't like that either. So I will put his, we'll pretend these are legs. His legs will look like this, but they'll be longer, and so his legs will be under him like that. And I really love him so far. I'm excited to get him finished, and yeah. So this is another long video. In case you all don't know, because I do want to say this too, Llama Mama Kayla is doing Podcaster Week, or Podcaster Spirit Week, next week, starting Sunday, which is my normal, it is my normal podcast day on Sunday, and that is when it starts on October 2nd. So I think what I'm going to do, instead of doing a normal podcast, I am going to do different videos for every day, and just show either a finished object or a whip, and just split my podcast up that way so that I can participate in Podcaster Spirit Week. So I think that that will be fun. So you will be seeing little short videos all next week. I just wanted to kind of let you all know what I had in mind to do for that, because I did want to participate, but I did not have anything to talk about every day. And I was thinking, well, I might just do like one or two. But then I thought, well, I'll just do that. I'll just have, show some, finished, like a finished object one day, and then, do it like that instead of doing like a regular normal podcast. So that is my plans. So hopefully that will work out. So we'll see how it goes. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I want to say thank you so much to all my subscribers and all my new subscribers. I appreciate all of you all. I know that there are so many wonderful podcasts that you could be watching right now, and for you to choose mine is just amazing, and I appreciate you all so, so much. I love your comments, and I love reading them and hearing what you have to say, so definitely keep those coming, and I will be seeing you all real soon in another video. Bye!